in our account, we've written 2 checks since our last meeting, one was to the Southern Standard for $180, which was for our ad for the reorganization meeting, and the other one was for $100 to the Chamber of Commerce, which is gonna cover our autumn street fair booth. Thank you.
Good job. All right, on the topic of funds, if you would like to make a donation to our party tonight, we have a jar there on our table, and you are more than welcome to draw in any donations tonight. We're not gonna pass it around, but we would appreciate if you would like to contribute to the Christian conservative movement in Warren County to help us raise funds to support candidates in the 2026 elections. We would greatly appreciate that. Okie dokie, old business. Our bylaws have been postponed for the time being, simply because I had a conversation with State Party Chair Scott Golden at our reorganization meeting, and apparently we were going about the process not exactly the right way. So I need to get more information from the state GOP on how we are to do that before we proceed. Once I have that information, then we'll pick back up and run with those bylaws. Also, the Warren County Election Commission has published the following statement regarding nonpartisan aldermanic and mayoral elections in the city and municipalities of Warren County. It reads as such: the General Assembly adopts election law. The Election Commission's role is to ensure election law is followed. Local municipal aldermanic positions by current election law are nonpartisan. By law, no party rule is associated with these positions. That does not mean a candidate cannot have their own personal party affiliation. A candidate can advertise their own affiliations in their campaigns. For example, a candidate running for alderman can say, I am a Democrat, I am running for alderman, or I am a Republican, I am running for alderman. This affiliation does not make the aldermanic position a Republican or Democrat position. This is because the role is nonpartisan. And there are no party designations on the ballot for any candidate. The Election Commission follows the existing law. This law has been enforced in this matter for many years, predating the current election administrative team. Okay. So that's old business, and we're going to move on to new business. I would like to introduce your new officers for the 2025-2027 election cycle, and that would be myself, Lanisa Bell. My vice chair, Brian Carr, is not here tonight. He is actually serving in his church. They have a I think it's a Holy Thursday service that they're having tonight, and he's their music minister, so he's involved in that. But if you know Brian, he's the Santa Claus looking guy. That's Brian. Our treasurer is Miss Lori Dotson, who was up here just a moment ago. Our vice treasurer is our former treasurer, Miss Jean Ware, who had to miss tonight. She had a dental emergency late this afternoon, and she is at home not feeling so great. Our secretary is Miss Marilyn Martin here in the back taking our notes, and we are here to serve you. This is a volunteer position. We do not get paid to do this, but we love our community and we stand for Christian conservative values, and we are here to serve in that way. Our at-large members are Mr. Stacy Harvey, and raise your hand, boys, and Mr. Philip Stout. And they are non-voting roles. They are just there to give their input, wisdom, and guidance in our board meetings. We also have our auxiliary members who are voting members, and that is Miss Stacy Hart. Where's she? Oh, sorry. Miss Stacy Hart is the leader of our women's group, and we have our newest member, Mr. Brandon Stegg, and I put him on the spot. He's going to stand up and say who he is and what he's doing.
So my name is Brandon Stegg, born and raised here in Warren County. I graduated MTSU in 2019, subsequently went to law school, knew that Warren County is home, wanted to come back home, and I've been practicing law ever since here. I worked at the DA's office. Happy to have this role.
What's your role? Tell us.
Chair of the Warren County Young Republicans.
Yay! Super excited to have Brandon on board, and I know that he's going to do great things with our Young Republican group, and I can't wait to see what all happens from there. Also, we found out this past Saturday that the board could also have non-voting members of legal counsel and a chaplain. So we already had Scott Horton serving in that role prior to the reorganization, so he's just continuing with that. And then we also, as a board, you voted unanimously to add Pastor Chuck Catalfew, thank you, Pastor Chuck Catalfew as our chaplain to the board, and he will be joining us in our board meetings and giving us spiritual guidance, where Scott's going to give us legal guidance. So, other new business, we did vote unanimously at our last board meeting. We are going to hold a Reagan Day fundraiser. Now, I know typically that looks like, you know, fancy tables and guest speakers in a big venue. And that may be the direction we go, but we also may do something at the farmer's market like a fish fry. It doesn't have to be fancy. So what I would love to see tonight is we have a Reagan Day fundraiser sign-up sheet. I will be chairing that committee, but I need help and I need ideas, and I would love to get feedback from you all as to what you would like to see us do, who would be a good speaker to come, who you think people would pay money to come and hear. So we would love your feedback on that, and if you're interested in helping out with that fundraiser, there's a sign-up sheet there on this side of the donation jar at the door, and I'd be thrilled to have that sign-up sheet full. There's also all the committees that I mentioned at our February meeting. Those sign-up sheets are still available for anybody that is interested in joining any of those committees. Now, if you see something and it piques your interest and you're not sure what it is or what it's for, please come find me. I'll be happy to answer any questions about that, or you can log on to our Facebook page, message me on Facebook. You can call me, my cell phone's on there, my email's on there. I'm happy to take any questions regarding committees and how you can get involved with our party. All right, with that said, we're going to introduce our first guest speaker, and that is Mr. Jake Isom, and he's here from White County, and he's with Miss Marsha, Senator Blackburn's campaign. Thank you.
You guys may have met me. I need to set this one. Okay. You may have met me last year, but this is a pretty big group. My name's Jake Isom, like you said. I'm with Senator Blackburn's campaign. Won't take up too much of your time. I just wanted to introduce myself. If you guys have any questions, or if there's anything I can do for you after, I'll stick around and try to talk to as many of you guys as I can. Strongly considered. It's awesome.
Strongly considered. It is 6:15, and our second guest speaker is not here yet. We were going to have Ms. Natisha Brooks come and speak to us about a new podcast that she, constitutionally conservative podcast that she has started airing. Is Terry close by, Becky? Do you know if he's on his way yet?
I can talk.
Shows he's still looking.
Oh, okay. He's out. Okay. So, County Executive Bell is out at the Lucky CIC. They're having their District 12 meeting regarding the County Powers Act. So, and he's supposed to be coming here after that, so it must be going a little long. Yeah, Tom, if you want to come up and give us a few minutes, sure.
Thank you. Those of you who don't know me,
No, you're fine.
my name is Tom Davis, and I am a candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives, Tennessee's 4th Congressional District. And it is the Republican primary that I am running in, so I am in the right meeting place. Seat is currently held by Congressman Scott DesJarlais, who has been there since 2011, and by my estimation needs to be replaced. I'll talk a little bit about the kind of what he's done for us, I guess, and why. So currently in Washington, they are on a 2-week break with the nation $37 trillion in debt. And I'm sure y'all are aware of what's going on. And they're now taking 2 weeks off. So in these 2 weeks, I've seen 2 posts. Well, they started on Monday. So far on the vacation, he has gone to Texas, where he has gone to the border and talked to the Border Patrol, and gone to the SpaceX facility. So, however, I'm not seeing anything from him here in the district. So he's not coming back to the district that I'm tracking. For me, how I see it is the oath itself is to the Constitution. The responsibility is back here to this district. And now while I'm okay with you know, because some of it is kind of in conjunction with what he's doing, but you still gotta come back. You still gotta look people in the face and explain why you voted. And he's done some votes that I'm not super excited about. One, this current continued spending resolution that we have, they are raising the debt ceiling. And they're all on board with it, so it's business as usual to include our representative. I don't know, to me, I cannot make it make sense that they're telling us we're gonna cut spending, we're gonna shrink government, but we need to increase our debt ceiling. That just does not reconcile with me. I'm a no on debt ceiling increases, and I'm a yes on let's shrink the government. The way I see it, the original Department of Government Efficiency is the U.S. House of Representatives, where these bills originate from, the spending bills. So we're getting yeses on that for business as usual. And like I said, we should be able to, as the rep, at least quarterly in the district, come back and have town halls to come to these meetings. I mean, he's a Republican, so we should, as the representative, come back to the district and talk to people. Our representative, we are not getting that from. So like I said, at least quarterly, and understand it's 15 counties, so it wouldn't always be Warren County, but throughout the district. And then what's a little bit of my background, I am a Warren County resident. I've lived here in Warren County since 2017. I am an Army veteran of almost 25 years. I also worked a short period of time in law enforcement. And since being here in Warren County, I've been pretty active in the community. I'm currently the quartermaster at VFW Post 5064, and I'm also a member of the American Legion Post 173. So where are my veterans at? A couple of us. Welcome home, brothers. And then, in addition to that, I'm on the, are you timing me? You did that to me before. You didn't tell me.
I need to look at, I was watching that meeting.
So yeah, we're law enforcement active here. I'm on the safety ministry at First Baptist Church here in McMinnville, where my wife attend. So that's kind of some of the things that I've seen out of our representative and why it's time for a change. Another one near and dear to my heart is veterans. And so without kind of, see if I can explain it pretty succinctly, is the way the military receives pay after the fact, so either in retirement or disability compensation. So these are two separate things, disability compensation and retirement pays. And so the way the system is set up now is that to a certain point, the compensation kind of offsets the retirement. Instead of you getting retirement and getting this compensation. There's legislation going through now, Major Richard Starr Act, which would separate those for veterans. And it's bipartisan legislation. It was introduced in the last, at least the 118th Congress. It's coming back through the 119th Congress, but for whatever reason, we cannot get it passed. So up there, that's part of the deal, is making some of those connections. And you know, if we're going to say we're going to support veterans, this is how we do it, is this legislation that would help a lot of us. So that legislation, and then National Defense Authorization Act is another one. And we've got yes votes out of that when it contained taxpayer funding for transgender affirming care, which is horrible idea. We as taxpayers should not be on the hook for those procedures. And then in addition to that, so I looked into these procedures a little bit. One, these folks are going to be on medication for the rest of their lives, which they start the process in the military. They're going to get it paid for from us, the taxpayers. Same thing with if any of the procedures, the surgeries go wrong, we, the taxpayers, are on the hook for compensation. And it's a detractor from our readiness. He said, having served almost 25 years active, I'll tell you within the services that it's going to cause units or cause problems down at those units, the squad, platoon level, a couple different ways. One, now you've got a soldier that is unable to perform the functions fully. They're on profile, going through procedures. Empty suit, I think, is a phrase that would apply. And then, so you're going to cause some dissent amongst the ranks, and they're not gonna be, people are not gonna be super excited. Plus, danger to that individual within the ranks. So, and we got yes votes. The reason he said yes to these votes is pay raises for the military. And I am for the pay raises, but not at the price of these folks in the military. It doesn't match. So there is that. That's pretty much the rundown. You got a few more minutes for me, I'll answer questions, specific, issues that anybody has. Did I burn enough time, or do you need me to keep going?
We'll see, I'll go ahead and do my,
Okay, I've only got a few more minutes, because I'm a quartermaster at VFW, which I got that meeting tonight, so.
I'll go ahead and do my, post-meeting announcements, that way, get that out of the way.
All right,
Thank you so
well, I
much.
said, thank you all for your time, your attention, and being here participating in what is our republic.
Okay, for those of you who, are proud 2A supporters, the Tennessee Firearms Association is going to have a town hall meeting on Tuesday, May 13th in Cumberland County at the community complex. That's going to start, I'm looking for a time on here, 6 p.m. And John Harris, who is the founder of the TFA, is that right, or president, what is that? What is his title, Harvey? John Harris is
He's the director.
director of the TFA, I'm sorry. Is going to be there. It says learn about key Second Amendment issues like the use of correct force to defend property, carry permits versus permitless carry. Speakers are John Harris, FTA director and attorney, panel of Tennessee state legislators as well. So I have this flyer on the table. If you're interested, you can pick that up. It's also on our Facebook page. Another thing I wanted to bring to the party's attention is the Invest in Life baby bottle baby bottle fundraiser and pledge drive for the Pregnancy Care Center. If you are interested in taking a little baby bottle home and filling it up with your loose change over the month between Mother's Day and Father's Day and getting that back to me, I'll gladly take that from you. If you just want to cut us a check, that's even better. And you all know my passion for children, the right to life, believing that reformation starts in the family unit, and the way that begins is to save the babies. So anyway, and with that, I'm excited to announce our first guest speaker. She's here, Letitia Brooks. I'm going to read a little bit about her. Since I have not officially met her myself, I did find some information that was sent to me. Well, I didn't just Google her. It was sent to me. So that's good, right? That's right. We don't want to necessarily read what we find on Google all the time. Okay, Letitia Brooks is a dedicated educator and Republican advocate with a strong commitment to educational excellence, conservative values, and community service. With over 20 years' experience in curriculum development, student engagement, and public speaking, and a passion for promoting a robust educational system that upholds traditional values. Thank you for being here tonight, Ms. Brooks, and we are excited to have you come speak.
Good evening, Warren County. I'm so excited to be here tonight, and a pleasure to speaking with you, to the board, to the reorganization. At least your reorganization went smooth. I'm very happy to say that. Congratulations to you, to any of the elected officials that are here. I see a judge is here, Judge Ryan. I see you. Thank you for having me. My name is Letitia. They call me Letitia Miss Brooks, the teacher. 33 years now retired out of the education system. And we talk about advocacy. Oh my goodness. Are you not happy that we have Trump back in the White House? Be proud of it. We can say it. We can say Happy Easter, Happy Resurrection, Merry Christmas. We're all free. Everybody say free.
Free.
Say it again, free. Oh my gosh. It feels so good. I'm so elated. I am newly elected, just got sworn in last Saturday, Tennessee Republican, your executive committee woman. That means I am the board. We are the board of the Republican Party. Very excited about that. Yes, you can clap on that. Very excited about that. I serve Senate District 19, servicing Davidson County, and Nashville. We got a lot of work to do in Davidson County, folks. Y'all know it's liberal. Y'all gotta say, everybody say pray.
Pray.
Goodness, we've got to do something. We got a lot of things going on. So keep us in our prayers. And this is one of the reasons why I love coming to other counties, because I can get a breath of fresh air of like-minded people, correct? So one of the things I like to do and start off with that I'm known for are the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s of the Republican Party. So I'm going to give them to you right quick, maybe you can learn them. After the meeting, I'm going to actually ask you, do you know your ABCs of the Republican Party? But I'm going to start off with the 1, 2, 3s. 1, 2, 3, Christian, conservative, constitutionalist.
Right.
If you are the 3 things, say amen.
Amen.
Christian, conservative, constitutionalist. That is me. I don't apologize for it. I'm glad that I'm in the South, and I'm glad that I represent the South. Amen.
Amen.
We don't apologize for it. But here are the ABCs. A, it is absolutely true that Trump is back in the White House. Letter B, believe me what I just told you about A. I just told you about the letter C, Christian, conservative, constitutionalist. D, be determined to get one young adult to the Republican Party. We cannot let the other side idolize and keep them under their thumb of how to indoctrinate them. Can I get an amen? E, be effective in your measures. F, we're living in the most fruitful country in the entire world, and if you don't like it, get over it. G, everybody knows G, make America great again. H, happy. Don't worry, be happy at all times. Things will pass. I, intelligent. If you were at the Warren County meeting tonight, you're intelligent. Me and you make sense. J, the most important letter in the alphabet, stands for Jesus. He's the Lord of my life, and I hope he's the Lord of yours. And if not, I'll introduce you to him after. K is the hardest letter of the Republican alphabet. K, be kind to our liberal friends. They don't know what they say at times. L, the greatest commandment in the Bible, love your neighbor as yourself. M, many, get as many to understand this letter, mental health. It's not guns that kill, it's sickness, evil, and mental health that kills, ladies and gentlemen. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
N stands for never, never in this lifetime sit on the sidelines and watch Biden and Kamala Harris run our country again. We don't need that. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
O, optimistic. Be happy. P, pessimistic. Leave that to the liberals. Let them have the bad ideas. Have a bad idea. Bad day. Everything's wrong, right? Q. Talk about the Republican platform quietly. Don't scream at our liberal friends. You will be surprised. It was some of our liberal friends that helped put Trump over the top. So talk to them about our Republican platform. They'll realize, oh, we're for small business, limited government, government out of our what? Business. Once they start realizing that, they'll start thinking, I might be a Republican. Or if you're a veteran, police officer, first responder, nurse, teachers, you are resilient, and we thank you for your service. F, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything. Can I get an amen?
Yes, amen.
T, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Time is not on our side. We have 16 months before we decide the next president of the United States. So get ready to get back in line again and stand as long as you can to make sure that we have a Christian, conservative, constitutionalist that will fight for our rights. Can I get an amen? United we stand, divided we fall. V for the victory, because it feels sweet to have victory back in the White House. W, win. X, we asked Nancy Pelosi and her. That was fun. Y, yes, we can. Z, keep our country with zeal again. Those are the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s of the Republican Party. And before I take my seat, I am a strong advocate for education. You need to be determined to make sure that your school board is in check. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Your school board, your county mayor, your sheriffs, those are the most important elections of our lifetime. Please don't sit on the sideline. Make sure that you stand and vote in your county elections. Make sure that you're looking out and choosing people that represent our veterans. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
And most important, that represent life. Life starts at conception. I am pro-life and I do not apologize for it. Can I get an amen? I heard her mention children, and don't forget to add to the pro-life movement, adoption. I'm adopted, and I proudly wear it. So instead of abortion, let's talk adoption. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Gotta get out of the room and into homes. And last but not least, it is imperative that you remain a patriot on purpose. It's okay to fight for your beliefs of your country. It's okay to fight for the beliefs of your community. It is okay to fight for the beliefs of your church. Be a patriot. It's okay. Do not apologize for who we are, what we stand for, and what our Constitution and the good book that teaches us of how we should live our lives. We're not only talking about us, we're talking about our generations that come behind us. The good book says that if a man don't work, a man don't eat. And can I get an amen?
Amen.
So we've got to start teaching these children that good work ethics. It's okay if you don't go to college. Trade school matters.
Yes. Yes.
Trade school matters. We need to start teaching our children their God-given talents, and so that they can be happy where they are, wherever they are. My name is Natisha. They call me Natisha Armis Brooks, the teacher. I approve everything I just said.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brooks. Ms. Brooks will be here for the remainder of the meeting if you would like to speak with her or get her contact information. Ms. Brooks, are you starting a podcast? Is that what?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
I have a podcast called Natisha's Political Advice. It is free. It is actually free on Spotify. NPA, Natisha's Political Advice. I also started a YouTube channel to celebrate conservatives. Celebrate conservatives and small businesses. Small businesses matter. So I try my best not to stay in hotels. I try my best to stay in bed and breakfasts. I try my best. I will be at Gondola's restaurant after the meeting. I really try my best. And the last thing that you do too, please support the small businesses. So it's Natisha's Political Advice. And the YouTube channel is Natisha Armis Brooks. If you're old enough, you remember the show Our Miss Brooks? Yeah. Well, she was white. I'm of color, but we have the same sense of style. So, and last but not least, I am really considering a run I don't know which position yet, but I will be making an announcement. I know my heart is to really run against Justin Jones to get him out. But I am considering 2 positions that I'm running for. I ask for your prayers in Warren County. I will pray for you and, as you continue to pray for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are very honored to have you here with us tonight, Ms. Brooks, and we are looking forward to hearing more from you in the future, from your podcast, your YouTube channel, and then getting behind you for a race, hopefully, in the future. So I have heard from Becky Terry is on his way. Yeah. Sorry, what, I couldn't hear you. Is it north side? Okay, so he, like I said, he was at the, District 12 meeting that started at 5, and, you know, and I appreciate his, diligence to be, you know, 2 places tonight to answer questions regarding this, County Powers Act, and I understand, you know, a lot of you have come out for that specific purpose, but I want to encourage you to please get involved. Please keep coming. We have so much work to do on the county level, as well as on the city level. Our next aldermanic elections are going to be in 26 as well. So I just want to extend that invitation. You are most welcome, and we can, you know, a lot of times people say, well, I'm not that political. Well, you know what? Yes, you are. You have values, you have morals. Everything that we do based off of what we believe, right? You dress based off of how you believe you should dress, right? You attend your church off of what you believe, right? Or your denomination, I should say. So everything that we do comes from a place of moral conviction. It comes from our set of values. And if you want to see those values protected, if you want to see those convictions upheld, then you got to get involved. And that is, you know, that's just Civics 101. So I want to extend that invitation to everyone. You may feel like, well, you know what, I'm not an out front kind of person. I couldn't stand up and talk, or I wouldn't be able to door knock, to campaign for somebody. That's fine. We have all kinds of jobs that we can give folks to get involved. And I would just, like I said, I would love, I know that when, you know, hot button issues come up, we have a great big party meeting, and our party meetings are, you know, run fairly large anyway, but I would love to see, you know, a hot button issue crowd every week, or every month, excuse me, just because we want to make a change in Warren County. We want to see Christian conservative values upheld, and we want that to be, you know, the core of who Warren County is. So I just want to extend that invitation. If you have any questions on how to get involved or how to be in contact with us, I'll be here after the meeting. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I'm going to put Judge Moore on the spot. He's going to come up here and give us any type of update on CASA.
Okay.
Or what's going on in the court system right now.
Sure.
My friend, thank you very much for
Yeah.
being here.
I didn't know. General sessions and juvenile court is going really well. Last year, we heard about 5,700 cases between our sessions docket and juvenile docket. Warren County General Sessions Court also has confirmed divorce jurisdiction with circuit and chancery court. So we hear domestic relations issues. Those contested matters are usually on Fridays. Mondays, we call it civil docket and child support. Tuesday is criminal. Wednesday is juvenile. Thursday is traffic and criminal again. And again, Fridays are special set matters. CASA's doing great. We're getting ready to install 2 new advocates next Wednesday morning before juvenile court. So we've got about 14 advocates now, and we're serving a little over 110 kids. So that's pretty. It's important to Warren County because Warren County has more kids in state custody per capita than any other county in our 14-county DCS region.
Wow.
So I'm really thankful for the good work they're doing. They work well with DCS. They hold DCS accountable. You can look at a permanency plan, it's 30 pages long, and not glean too much from that, but you can look at a 2-page CASA report and glean a lot of information. And what it's doing is speeding up permanency It's an extra set of eyes and ears for the court to make sure that we're making the right decision. We want to hold DCS accountable. Our CASA volunteers only handle 1 to 2 cases at any given time, whereas a DCS worker may have 30 or 40. So CASA's doing some great work, and I appreciate you all's support and prayers for that program. Another thing we're doing in Warren County is the Conflicts Resolution Center. They work in about 18 counties across the state of Tennessee. It's a pro bono service for pro se litigants on our civil day, Monday. If you don't have an attorney, before we try the case, I'm going to encourage mediation. And I learned about this at a judicial conference back in 2022, and I thought, wow, this place is in Nashville. They're never going to come to Warren County. But it was just a blessing. Dr. Sarah Fiegel was the executive director. I went up and introduced myself. She said, Ryan, Bill Morton is the chairman of the Conflicts Resolution Center. He's got a house at Rock Island. Bill started coming. And then, next thing you know, we've got Jim Tate. He's got a home in Overton Retreat. He's at Bass, Berry, and Sims in Nashville. He comes every Monday as well. Fritz Ring is retired. He lives in the Fairfield Lake area. He comes every week from Cumberland County. So the Conflicts Resolution Center is really helping us get cases settled on Mondays in civil. You know, pro se litigants, those are folks that don't have a lawyer, and they have a great command of facts. But, you know, when you start a trial, you have to follow the rules of evidence and sometimes the rules of civil procedure. There are certain rules of civil procedure that apply in general session civil court. So I tell litigants, you know, when we go to trial, you know, the judge may not can do what you all want. If you go to mediation, you can get the best of both worlds. And I use the lemon example. Let's say that Dad and I have an argument, and Dad needs the zest of the lemon, and I need the juice of the lemon. At mediation, we can flesh that out. At trial, the court may say, we're going to have this lemon, half of it's going to go to David Moore, half of it's going to go to Ryan Moore, and neither one of us win. So the Conflicts Resolution Center has been a great addition to our civil dockets. So those are some things that are going on in General Sessions Court. General Stegg brought TSEP to our child support division. I think we're still #1 in child support collections, and I know General Zabiano. TSEP is kind of like an adult recovery court for child support. The TSEP worker, Ms. Oli Vasquez, helps people get jobs, get their driver's license, safe and stable housing. So we're seeing our child support collections still doing very well. And I think that's all I've got. Thank you all. Thank you.
At this time, I'm gonna put my women's representative on the spot. She's gonna come give us an update on what's going on with Warren County Republican women. Tell us when their next meeting's gonna be and what they've got coming up. And then she's probably gonna cuss me out. Miss Stacy Hart.
I'm Stacy Hart. I lead the women's group. We meet every other month. We are just a group of Christian conservative women that believe in the Constitution and that it's our responsibility and our right to make sure that our government's doing what we want them to. We meet over at Bushel and Peck on the, I believe our next meeting is on May 9th, 8th. It's a Thursday, and, okay, the 8th at 6 o'clock, and Ms. Dickey will be leading that. I won't be available that night, but she's my right hand. And then also, we're pretty casual. We bring our dinner from somewhere, and we just chat, and we talk about what we want to get accomplished. One thing that we're working really hard on right now, and you'll see it if you follow us on Facebook, is that we are getting involved on the city and county government meetings. We're very hard and fast pushing those meetings because we want eyes and ears in those. I can't go to every meeting, but if I have one lady or one member go attend that meeting and come back and say, hey, did you know that there's a rock quarry coming in? Or, hey, did you know that somebody's pushing for electric buses? We can start maybe addressing those or doing something about it proactively versus trying to come at it from the back end and being reactive. So that's what we're working on really hard. We would love to have any of you women come. Men are welcome, you just don't get a vote. And it's always, I mean, anyway, thank you.
Now, star of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to introduce our county executive, Mr. Terry Bell. Now, I'm gonna preface this portion of our meeting with this statement, and I would appreciate the utmost courtesy and respect. This portion of the meeting is for questions only. If you have questions about the, County Powers Act or the proposed rumored, we don't know for sure, rock quarries, what's happening in that, in the Deverell, and I think Centertown is another area that's been looked at, communities, you may ask questions. Once he gives his update, I will open the floor for questions. However, this is not a time for just public comment, because that is what you do with your county commissioners in your small district meetings, or what's the name of the committee that had the meeting last week? Policy and personnel, that was a time for, comments for that committee. So if it's just an opinion or comment, I would ask that you would say that to your county commissioner, give them a phone call or go to their meeting. I know, Cam and Charles is having District 2 meeting tomorrow night at 6 at the, Newtown CIC there on Laws Road. And Lucky met tonight, that's why we have several of our members that were, absent tonight for that. So if you would like to talk to your county commissioner and you don't know who he is, you can ask me and I'll be happy to fill you in and give you that contact information. But for this portion of the meeting, like I said, please keep it, to questions only and not comments or opinions. Thank you very much.
Really glad to see this big turnout. Glad everybody's here tonight. Of course, the county is, part of it's river, part of it's not. I can confirm that there is a company got a pending, piece of property. They've not signed the deed yet in Centertown to put in a quarry. There is a piece of property in Deverell that is rumored, I guess is where I need to put it, because I can't confirm it is and can't confirm it's not. And if anybody can, I wish they would let me know, because that's all I can find out. But the only recourse the county has, the county does not have countywide zoning, which I've had some commissioners ask me about that. That's even more restrictive than what we're trying to do. The county is having a policy and personnel meeting here last Thursday, and they voted to enact the County Powers Act, which it's got put on Facebook that we're trying to control everything and this is taking all your rights. That is way out there from what is actually going on. We are trying to use the County Powers Act to regulate rock quarry, rock crushing, and they added mining, and that was something that was not in the original. They added that in the original, when we had the policy and personnel meeting. And of course, people will get up and say, you're taking the rights away from the people that own the property. But there's two things that happens in it. If we had a rock quarry that we know we were only going to be digging up rock and sitting it through dirt, that's different than blasting and crushing rock. There's a lot of big difference in that right there, because this dust travels up to 5,000 feet. We've got the Deverell School within that footage from this proposed rock quarry at Deverell. Now, the one at Centertown's a little further out. Both of these proposed quarries are also something that I think Warren County needs to study about. They are on our major waterways. You're on Mount Creek and you're on the Barren Fork out there. If they go to blasting there, I know that everybody says the state will control it and everything, but you can't control dynamite. I promise you can't. So if it runs in and blasts and there's a mud crack there, they tell me it can turn that water into a cave. Is that probably going to happen? May not, but possibly could. So that's where the county commission is at right now, and they're looking at dysregulating the rock quarry, rock crushing, and the mining. And they have to pass the County Powers Act if you want to do that. Now, I know if you go on Facebook, like I say, they get it down to where you can't do anything on your own property. And everybody tells me, said, well, you know, if you pass this, and later on they expand it. That can happen. That's our problem as the Republican Party. We need to make sure we've got people in place that doesn't happen. So that's our job, to make sure that happens, because whether you vote on this or you ever bring it up, that can happen later on down the road, or anybody else gets elected, they can come and pass anything with a 2/3 majority. They can change that. But that is the act we're trying to pass, just so we can regulate the rock works, is what we're trying to do. So, anybody have some questions?
I understand there's an amendment to the proposition that they've changed section 1, 2, and 4. Is that true, and is that legal?
It's not, nothing's been changed. Now, I'm gonna get this right. I had a couple of commissioners call me and ask me, they didn't like the language in section 1. They are not on policy and personnel. So they can't legally, but somebody, somewhere, has to sit down and draw up that language. So that, I have directed Robert, and I'll read what we changed some of the language to in section 1. You have to leave the TCA code in there because it's what allows you to actually do that. But pursuant to the directives of TCA code 51118C, the Board of County Commissioners of Warren County hereby expresses its intent that the county be authorized to exercise these powers granted to municipalities under TCA code 62, 201, 22, and 23. That's section 1. You have to have that in there because that's the only thing that allows the county to actually control things. Section 2, that nothing in this resolution shall grant unto the county any regulatory authority and general policing power other than to regulate rock quarries, rock crushing, and mining. So that limits all you can do. Section 3 then reads, these have been added, that any future attempt to regulate any industry other than rock quarries, rock crushing, mining shall only be permissible by the supermajority passage of a new and independent County Powers Act specific to the regulations sought therein. So what that's telling you is to pass another, to do anything, you've got to go through this whole process of passing the County Powers Act. You can't just go and fix it. So that's the new, now they may not take that up. I'm not saying they will. I've sent it out to all of them. And if they want to take that up to clarify some language that was bothering some people, it means the same thing according to our attorney. Now, Ryan can probably take these and look at them and tell you for sure where it's the same thing. I'm not a legal lawyer, so I don't know about the language.
One more, section 8, I didn't notice that in what was sent to me. Is that changing, or is that staying verbatim?
Section 8. Now, the county attorney drew this up, so I don't know if you took that out or not.
Because that's what gives it the teeth. Without that, you have nothing. Section 8.
You're talking about the original,
The original section 8, within 5,000 feet of the church.
No, that's two things going to happen here Monday night. When we vote on the county powers act, if this county powers act fails, the regulations that we've got to come up next will not be voted on. They will be removed from the docket. That's two separate resolutions for that.
Okay,
Because you have to pass this allowing you to actually pass regulations on those industries. Is what you have to do.
so it's not part of it.
It's not part of this.
Keep asking questions.
That's all right. I want everybody to know because we're not trying to hide anything. And I know this is controversial. And I think it's something that chicken houses and other things can be torn down and replaced. Once we dig a hole 50 to 100 feet beside a rivers, that'll never come back. So you're talking about something that's going to affect this county for 50 to 100 years, well, infinity probably.
Can you explain why you're rereading this? 'Cause some people that are watching, you're saying you're skipping over a lot of stuff. Can you
Okay.
let them know that this is the new one?
Yeah, this is a resolution that a couple of county commissioners have asked me if we could take some language out. And I seen where everybody on social media is having a problem with the language that's in that resolution. So I want to clarify exactly what we're doing, because we're not trying to take no power from nobody. I don't even have to pass this. I believe it's in the best interest of Warren County to protect our waterways, and our communities.
Do you feel like you have enough support to pass it?
No.
What do we gotta do to support you?
There's been so much stuff put on Facebook that it started out, I started getting calls that we were regulating agriculture. If we're reading the top, it says plainly, you cannot touch agriculture. And a lot of people's point a lot of the commissioners point, well, when they pass this, they'll pass anything else. Well, that's true at any given time. They can do that next month.
To pass something else, you have to go through this process all over.
All over again,
All
yes,
over again.
yes, you do, you do, but that's some of them's main thing, they're afraid that if they call it opening the door. So that'll be up to the commissioners, but right now, I don't feel there's enough commissioners to actually, it has to have 16. And I don't know if you've been to county court meetings, but when you got 24 people, it's hard to get 24 people in a room, and 16 of them agree on anything.
I think I speak for Terry and the rest of the commissioners, we don't want to do this again.
No, I'm not, no, I don't want to do it this time, Charles. But that's what we have to deal with. And we exactly do. We have.
I come out. So the question was, do we have, surrounding counties that are in the County Powers Act, have established the County Powers Act, that are in lawsuit with corporations, assuming that are coming in and have bought land trying to do stuff in their county?
They are. Grady County's the one that started this. They're actually the one that started using the Powers Act to regulate Tennessee. So they're the one in the lawsuit. That's one problem we've got. County's got this in place. Grundy County's got it in place. DeKalb County's got it in place. Rutherford County, of course, has got zoning. Lebanon's got zoning. So what do you think we are in there? Big bullseye.
When we say that's the problem, though, on a scale of 1 to 10, what size problem do we consider that to be if it's litigation?
Well, it's going to the Supreme Court. Either it'll hold up or it won't. And I mean, if it doesn't hold up, we have no recourse. What you've done is for nothing. I mean, we've done all this for nothing, but do we try or do we not do it? I mean, that's where we're at now.
Is there any reason that you couldn't table the resolution until after the Supreme Court rules on the pending case and then pick it back up?
Well, that gets back to what litigation, I know, of course, if you're living in the north end of the county, you know a lot of what's going on in DeKalb County. And DeKalb County's in litigation over this because of one reason. They had a quarry that was actually running illegally, but they were in operation. Any quarry that's running today, this does not affect at all. You cannot do anything to them. So the ones running illegally is challenged that he was in business, even though he didn't have the state permits. They had another one that the property, they closed on the property and they got to the state and filed for a mining permit. So now they're claiming that they were in operation. And that's the way it reads. So, I mean, everybody's like, why are you in such a hurry to pass it? Well, you have to be in a hurry because if this property closes, we probably missed the window. And it is, the litigation part of it is a problem. I mean, I can't tell you where the judges will uphold it or they won't. Is what it is. But the people that want to tell me that we're taking everybody's rights, right now, we've got a proclamation. I'm not asking you to take these away, believe me, give me. But we've got regulations in place that you can't sell beer 600 foot from a church. That's a regulation the county has. Regulation the county, and that's on your own property. You can't open a beer joint on your own property without going through these regulations. We've got regulations on adult entertainment. It has to be so many feet, 2,400 feet, I think it is, both ways. So we've got that regulation. We've also got a regulation on junkyards. We got one on trailer parks. And we got all these regulations out there. So to say we never took anybody's rights away, if that's the argument you want to use, we need to do away with all those. Now, I'm not advocating that, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to think I am. But I'm just using that is that's what a lot of commissioners will holler, that you're taking their property rights away.
Can we have a quarry over? If we
Uh,
have a beer board, can we do?
that is something that could definitely be done, yes. Because this, when you do this second part of the regulation, I'll be honest with you, they put 5,000 feet in there. Of course, anybody in this room knows that probably 5,000 feet is unreasonable. You can't have it. So that is something that this county court will have to set, but it's important if you want to stop the two that we've got potentially coming in, which one of them I can't tell you for sure is, you've got to go ahead and pass the regulations too.
So we would have to pass the powers act.
Then, so those regulations behind that, you've got both of them.
Even behind the beer board. So if we have a beer board, can we not just?
We
Do
possibly. County would have to set up just like those restrictions like we do on the beer board, probably could explain more about this than I do.
The beer board adopted what the state of Tennessee is given as an outline to go by. Because Warren County adopted the state of Tennessee's recommendations. We enforce it. That's all we do.
So that would have to happen for you to have a board where you can put in a court. And I guess my concern is how many of these do we want in Warren? Yeah, right now, there's nothing in place to where you can stop any. It could be 15, 20, 25. And, I've got a bunch of people that say, well, it's not my neighbor. Kind of feel for the neighbors wherever you're at. I think you're all my neighbors in Warren County. So I think we ought to feel for one that's in the north end of the county or the center town just as much as we do up to our county. So. Anybody have any questions?
Who is the company?
One of them's Tinsley and the other one is rumored to be Rochester. Can't tell you it is. That's the one I can't tell you where it is or not. I'm not 100% sure.
One more, was there limestone on any of these proposed projects? In the industry, we have to have limestone.
Yeah. I mean, Warren County is really fortunate in the rock part because we've got 3 quarries that are in Wood. There's a bunch of them not in Warren County, but they serve Warren County. 3 that's in Woodbury, I reckon, furnished Bonita Steel. I think you could maybe get rock station from them. We also have the one at the foot of the mountain of Iowa. We have the one at number 8, and we also, in my end of the county, a lot of times, the Dole, where we will actually supply. I mean, I know we have to have rock. I'm not saying we don't have to have rock.
Where's the property at, Champaign?
It's out next to, below Trousdale Church. I'm not familiar with that area. Is where it's at. It's right there. They went to 3 other farmers, tried to buy their property. Those farmers said no. They said, we're not doing it. And they turned it down. And it's a huge amount of money. So that's what's concerning about the whole thing, or how many more farms are they gonna, they want 200 acres or better.
So if they're gonna come in here and ruin our rivers and pollute our air, can we sue them out of existence?
No, you won't, no, because they will get permits from the federal government and the state, because the state uses a world of rock. And they know they've gotta have a world of rock, and they're dealing with these people that should actually, that are putting the quarries in. Yeah.
Harold Martin owned that property.
Yeah.
Greg got it. So when Harold, from what I understand, when Harold owned it, he done some work out there that the EPA come back on him on. Why is TDEC and the EPA not getting involved? I mean, the property even got a cemetery on it. just wondering if they done it to Mr. Martin, why don't they not do it to Roger? You say it out loud. Right there. You know, but they done it to him, they protected them, why won't they protect?
The problem we've got with this whole issue is, and I hate to tell the public, but we can't confirm this. And you can call TDAC and they have no, as of the other day, they have no record that they filed for any mining permit.
Told today that money was put down on the property.
Well, now, they do have a pending contracts. Yes, that's right. But far as actually getting anything from the state involved in, they're not gonna get involved until you fill out the permit to actually own the property.
At that point, then it's too late. What I think I hear you saying.
It is.
County Powers Act has no
teeth.
teeth, even though the county has given you the permit. If they've gone through the state.
They're gonna be considered grandfathered, what they're gonna be considered. It's just like the query up on number 8. And of course, we know we gotta have rocks.
So if this property has a pending contract, then are we too late now?
Stop, and answer that. You can call the companies and they deny that they're even trying to buy it. I mean,
Well, there hasn't been a deed yet set, so
yeah,
then it becomes,
then it comes,
now it's not official.
yeah,
So the vote's money,
the vote's mine.
and if that doesn't, if you all don't do it, then it's over.
It's over.
So the commission needs to understand, I'm sure they do understand.
They're struggling with it, they're really struggling with it, I'll tell you they are. Because they hate that, because everybody's putting them under the microscope that you're taking your freedoms away, and nobody's here to take nobody's freedoms away. We just don't have commissioners who want to do that.
I talked to someone that works with fish, but they said that they drilled and found that the rock was a certain hardness that they needed for like asphalt, and you don't find that hard limestone anywhere. So that's their interest in.
That's what hard. I've heard that, but I mean, I didn't know that for sure.
Can we put that out on the internet as an educational thing, or is that something that you prefer we don't?
No, I mean, no, listen, that's nothing to hide. Let's just want to take this up to the judges we made. Talk to Mr. Dodson about it, send it to Scott, and we send it to all of them, and we're trying to clarify what we're trying to do.
Well, the original section 1 was obviously read. It's just people can't read.
Yeah.
Terry, I just want to be sure that I understand what you said. So what I think you said was that the only chance that the county has to stop this is to pass the County Powers Act, but there's no guarantee that that's even going to be enough because of the pending Grundy County case.
Exactly.
So-
I do want you to know that.
Yeah, to me, that seems important to know that
Yes.
it's not 100% guaranteed,
No.
if I understand, but it's the only shot you got.
It's the only thing we got.
Okay, I just want to be sure I understood that.
Yeah, and I want everybody to understand that. You know, and we do have that problem if it closes before we get here Monday night. We're struggling to get enough votes Monday night to make it happen.
Out of curiosity, if we did have to file a lawsuit, say you all vote yes Sunday and it goes through. Let's say that the lawsuit in Grundy County is upheld by the Supreme Court. Or parts of it are upheld, and then we're sued. Where do the funds for those legal services come from? Because at that point, that will be beyond our county attorney.
It's fair. There's no doubt about it, but I'm gonna tell you, as a county executive, I wouldn't recommend if they've bought the property and they filed the permits, I think you've got no case. I mean, maybe Ryan will tell you different.
I think you're probably right.
I just think there's no need to try to challenge that. But if they've not bought the property and they've not filed for a permit, I think we've got a shot.
So, have you talked to the landowner?
Well, they signed a paper that they wouldn't talk about.
NDA.
NDA.
Done.
Yeah.
If they sign a paper that says that they're not gonna talk about it, then they apparently have something to hide.
That's what bothers me about this whole thing. Nobody's willing to come forward. And if you're doing a good thing for the community and everything, why wouldn't you come forward and let everybody know what you're gonna do? I mean, everybody knows you need rock. So if you're gonna be a good friendly neighbor, why not talk to all the neighbors? Know what's going on?
Did my best to put this on. Can we be concerned about this power?
Yes, yeah, yes, same.
That was more a statement than it was a question.
But I-
wanted to be- So.
Oh, I told them, some people's holler, well, they're just passing, when you ask the poll, do you want to pass the powers act? 100% against that, because I know what you can do, but I'm not in favor of that at all. As a matter of fact, I can't think of anything else that I would add.
Imagine a commissioner wanting that responsibility, let's be honest with you.
Well, they don't. I mean, I'm not speaking for Cam or Philip or Ron or Charles or Scott, but they're struggling. They're probably like me. They're losing sleep tonight.
And I can't imagine them wanting that decision to take that. So will that authority and also to the way it's being portrayed, our neighbors. And
And listen, I'm 900 acres. I don't know what you're gonna need to do. My neighbors, probably not gonna sell my place for it. That's just not.
Terry, why don't you just call it the County Powers Act for Rock?
Well, I think where a lot of this comes from is the actual name of, I mean, it's, they asked me today at the radio, they said the County Powers Act. Are you for it? No way, you're gonna get me to go for the County Powers Act. If it's not a way I can live with that Powers Act, just to cover these things. And I'm gonna be honest with you, even if it comes to a different situation where they're just sifting this rock out of dirt, that's a different situation to me. There's no blasting or no going on there. So tell me what the hell so that would be.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Cause no one's talking.
I have no way to check.
And ask this one a question.
Yeah.
How do they put a 2-foot rock into asphalt?
Oh, listen, I'm not a construction guy.
They use them for the roads in the city of McMinnville.
This is controversial. I would say, what I'm guessing, it's about a 50-50 split. Because some people just take it straight out that you're passing the Powers Act. Then later on, you're gonna come back and you're gonna regulate something else. And that's exactly the way we feel. I mean, I think I'm speaking for a lot of people.
So since you've changed the wording, more or less,
Yeah.
how are they responding to the wording of it?
Well, the damage has been done on Facebook and everything, because it's been told that, like I say, I got calls that, I got a woman called me and told me that she didn't want us passing the Powers Act because her electric bill would go up.
I mean,
And it's true.
no.
You know, I got calls that, well, I can't run my combine in the night. That's.
And where people are getting stuff like that is because in some counties, they have passed.
They
Well,
have.
They have passed noise ordinances
That's,
as part of their, under the umbrella of the county powers act, so that's
they
why.
have, and that's what's scaring everybody in Warren County. I
Yeah.
totally understand. And it should.
Yeah.
The government doesn't need that much control.
I got a question for you, Terry.
Oh.
Can we nominate 24 to take our place Monday night?
Well, and it's been brought up, we had some commissioners that they're wanting to put it on a referendum. But I told them, I said, there's no need to put it on a referendum. I can just about tell you what the vote will be if you put, do you support the County Powers Act? It'll be like 95% against and 5 will be for. That's how bad it is.
So now I know we're going back to the wording of it. Are these county commissioners going to speak to their districts, especially to educate them on how it has changed and break it down to them that it's not controlled?
They're trying to, that's what they're having meetings.
Well, I
for.
understand that some are, but I know
Yeah.
a lot of them
Yeah,
are still,
and I mean, well, I can't make them do it.
I know.
And a lot of them have been on the radio today, and they've been to Kelly's show, and they've talked about it, and we tried to educate the public.
Best you
Hey,
can.
this is y'all's government, and we're trying to do the right thing.
Yep.
And this will be one of the things, if it gets turned down, and we wind up with a bunch of queries, we'll live with it for several years.
It was my question, how do we educate people that
Yeah,
no one is trying, that we are not asking
yeah,
the other residents of our county to agree to something that they don't want, but we need really bad. Like,
yeah,
what
I
is
mean,
gonna
that's
happen? You know, how do we educate?
You have to tell your neighbors, and I don't like the Facebook thing, but I don't know how else you get it out there.
Well, I have a copy of what you got in your hand. I'm happy to post to the Republican Party page. If you guys follow, you just have to follow. You don't have to friend request or anything. You just follow us. And you can share, you know, the revised version, I guess is what we call it. Is that what's going before?
Yeah, and like I say, now, you was asking about being legal. There's nothing legal about this, because they will have to, if the commissioners want to use this, they will have to amend and replace Monday night when that comes up.
Okay.
Just what they will have to do.
I'm just gonna ask,
That will just take a simple majority. But now to actually approve the County Powers Act and the regulations that would follow, takes 16 votes. And so that means there's only 9 commissioners. 9 commissioners can actually control what happens that night.
I'm gonna ask him.
Scott?
How susceptible will the county be for lawsuits for discrimination?
What?
You know, like construction businesses.
If you ain't got to worry, this ain't gonna affect you. It's strictly quarries, rock crushing, and mining, and if they're in operation today, we're not regulating them at all. It's the new ones, is the only ones you'll be able to regulate.
I'm not talking about the ones that are existing. New,
If you pass it before they buy the property and get a permit in Nashville, I don't, Ryan can probably speak more to that. That ruling will have to, that'll control it all. I mean, if the Supreme Court says that's unconstitutional, inevitably, what we've done here is nothing.
You know, I heard you on the radio this morning. The 5,000-foot rule, there's not a property in Warren County that it would have to be 2,400 acres.
If I figure right, I couldn't, no, I'm not.
For something like
Probably
that to
need to
come in.
check my math, but it's a lot.
There's nothing like that in Warren County, so they would basically be
Be exempt.
zoned out.
Yeah, they'd be zoned out. They just don't. Yep.
Okay, this is a Facebook question, and I don't know how to ask any question, but one of the listeners saying that the TCA sections were written by the state. Do you need approval to change that?
We're not changing the TCA code.
Okay, can you explain that?
We're limiting our ability to use that TCA code. That TCA code is what allows us the authority to do that, and we're only going down below it and saying we're only using it for these specific things.
Okay,
Now, a lot of counties doesn't do that. When they pass this County Powers Act, it just straight out passes the County Powers Act. Then they worry about the regulations. I'm not comfortable with that. we've got to put that in there, what we're limited and what we want to use it for.
Yeah.
So, as a commission, and yes, this is a terrible vote. Probably one of the hardest ones I've been involved in. But, as a commissioner and a taxpayer, both. If this passes, can the next administration change our resolutions?
Yes, that,
Each month, correct?
And-
Or,
and that, but, and I told them this is lucky, that's the reason I was a little late. I don't see how that can even figure into somebody's equation of how they vote Monday night. Because you can't limit, the lawyers will tell me, we can't limit anything the next county commission's gonna do down the road. You can't do that. It's unconstitutional to do that. You're trying to tie their hands. So that really, to me, doesn't affect your vote Monday night because,
So wouldn't you prevent opportunity?
well, there's no way, there's no way to prevent it because that act is there. This act could have been brought up, since 2006. So, and now it hasn't been brought to attention, but DeKalb County, actually, the north end of the county found it out. That's how it come available. I didn't even know it existed, I'll be honest with you, until they reached out to me, that this was an opportunity to do that. But that comes from the fact, and it's kind of ironic, I think, that DeKalb County passed that, and then we get worried just maybe 4 miles from the line. So they come right across the line. 2 miles, okay, I wasn't exactly sure.
If percent we do not pass this, is there anything that prevent the next generation from passing one that's even wider open?
No. That's what I'm telling you, if we kill this and took it off the docket Monday night, there's nothing that will stop the next county commission, except we can get people elected as the Republican Party. It won't do that.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
if we do,
yeah,
So,
this
the
concerns
way
me.
I see it, and Brandon, you can tell me if I'm wrong, the only way that the county commission could not enact the County Powers Act for whatever regulations purposes they see fit is if it's removed from the code of operation, like.
TCA.
Yeah, if the
But
TCA,
that would be,
if it's removed,
that would be legislative.
The county has no say.
the county has no control over that, that's the state,
Not an action.
that's the state.
It's worth it.
Well, the Grundy County ruling, it could cause the TCA code change. It possibly-
It could possibly.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it would set a precedent if they ruled in favor, either way, if they ruled in favor of the county or if they ruled in favor of the district.
It really would.
Right.
Go Walker. You wanted to ask.
You wanted us.
There's a guy that's wrote these statements on here, and I just think there needs to be clarification. He says the resolution was written by the county, 2 different documents, and he says, the CPAs were written by the state, you need approval to amend that. What are you claiming? He said, that's what you're claiming to change. I don't know how to
Yeah, I
ask that
understand.
question.
What comes to committee is actually what will be on the docket. This is another document that the county attorney has approved, that it's okay. And if the commissioners want to use it, they can replace it with the other.
Okay.
So it's not, it doesn't have to, this is trash until they decide to amend the docket and replace the other one with this. And all it's doing is clarifying some language.
Yeah.
To understand.
It still opens up the TCA
It's the
code.
same thing.
It still opens up the Powers Act to be
But it limits
just to the court.
just to the courts. That's what it is.
I was trying to make sure I didn't forget it. So I know we've kind of had the same discussion. So you're saying other people, other commissioners, the next commission can always come in, even if they vote no on this, they can come in the next go around, and vote the County Powers Act in themselves and do whatever they want. So it doesn't matter what we do now, why not?
And it's 2/3
Yeah.
majority.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you can't limit what the next county
Exactly.
commission.
Yeah.
Well, and like Terry said, and it's my passionate belief, that's why I'm up here before you today, is that to make sure that there isn't government overreach, we've got to make sure that we get constitutionally conservative people, Republicans elected to the county commission to protect our constitutional rights and ensure that we're not being, handled, so to speak, by the government. On any level, I would say that on the state level, federal level, all levels.
Anybody else got anything? Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Since I made my post-meeting announcements during the meeting, I'll just remind everybody that our next party meeting is the third Thursday of May. I believe that's the 15th. Is that right? I think it's the 15th. I wrote it down. Yes, May 15th, 6 o'clock, right back here in this room. We are going to hear from our election commission chairman, Mr. Ray McKay. We're gonna get all the nitty gritty on this upcoming election cycle. When is the filing deadline? When do we as the party have to notify the election commission of a primary versus a caucus? Said the C word, I'm not using it, I'm just saying that there's a deadline for that. So, we have that to do, the filing deadlines for folks that want to run for, county commission, county executive, sheriff, county court clerk, register of deeds. All of these are coming up in 2026, as well as 3 aldermanic seats, is that right, 3 seats? On the board of mayor and alderman. So, if you know folks that are, interested in running, bring them to that meeting, please. I would love to be able to meet them, talk with them, give out that information, get those dates clarified for anyone. And also, some folks think, I think I might like to run for county commission. And then they do, and then they say, what have I gotten myself into? So I would be very, very happy to let folks know what that means to be a commissioner, what your responsibilities and roles will be, that you serve on, it's not just a once a month, you don't just meet once a month, you get a committee or 2, right? You have to serve, you get phone calls, lots and lots of phone calls, some things you can do something about and some things you can't, right, Terry Bell? What about them birds out there in my yard? Can you get them birds out of my yard? So, anyway, if people have questions about what it would look like to run for a county office, I would be happy to help you learn about that, or those folks learn if they would come next month on the 15th, 6 o'clock in this room. May 8th is our ladies' meeting at Bushel and Peck. They are doing some awesome work, grassroots work, and I would love to see some of our women in here at that meeting as well. And I think that's all that we have. If you're interested in the TFA town hall in Crossville, I believe it is, there's the flyer there on the table. There's also small flyers for the baby bottle fundraiser for the Pregnancy Care Center. All of the committee sign-up sheets are there. Don't forget, Reagan Day is happening this year. So we need all the help we can get planning that. With that said, is there any further business that anybody would like to address tonight before we adjourn? Okay, I'll make a motion that we adjourn this meeting. All right, all those in favor? All right, y'all go.